it's Candy, and I'm here with a really fun video showing you guys how to apply airbrush foundation without an airbrush. So whether you have an airbrush, you don't want to take the time of setting your airbrush up, turning it on, cleaning it, all that stuff, I'm going to show you how you can get a flawless face without an airbrush. Now, airbrush foundation has an entirely different formulation than regular cream, powder, or liquid foundations do. It really feels like you don't have anything on the skin. It feels so light. It looks incredibly light. It looks flawless because it looks like you don't even have makeup on. This is great for people with oily skin, acne skin, or I myself have really dry skin, yet this is still amazing. It will actually improve the quality of your skin if you do have acne. This is just like amazing. So I will show you a few of my favorites. I will also show you how you can get the foundation out of the Temp 2 AirPods, and I will show you a couple of my favorite airbrush foundations. Dinair is one of my favorite foundations. All airbrush foundations come with little metal balls inside that you need to shake them up. So it's Temp 2, it's Dinair, it's Dior, they're all gonna have those little metal balls kind of like a spray paint would. And this is Dinair. Dinah was the originator who first came up with using makeup in an airbrush, and her company is Dinair, so I love hers. I think it's amazing, and these guys really aren't that expensive, so I really like the Dinair. Also, if you happen to have the Temp 2 AirPods, these are a little trickier to get the makeup out, but I will show you how you can do that. And then other people also, a lot of my makeup artist friends use the Dior Air Flash. It is a lot more expensive, but I would never recommend spraying it out of the can like they say to do. It looks horrible, it wastes a lot of product. You can make it last so much longer by not spraying it all over the face. So you can just pick whichever your favorites are. I'm also going to show you, I personally like using a primer because it fills in my fine lines and large pores. I haven't really liked any of the specified airbrush foundation primers. I just like using regular old primers, so whatever is your favorite. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on a face primer. You don't have to do this step. I just happen to like using a face primer, and I'm going to put this all over. And I'm just going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish primer because I'm just kind of obsessed with it right now. So for today, I'll show you a couple different options. The first one that I'm going to show you is the Dior Air Flash. I'm just using the Smart Foundation brush from Boomy. I just like it because it's thick, I like the shape, and it applies it really well. You can also use a beauty blender, but I found that I really don't like, for some reason, I love this with every other makeup product to put on, but for some reason with the airbrush foundation, I just, it's not my favorite way. So I'm just going to show you with a brush, which is odd because I do not like applying foundation on with a brush. It normally gives you brush stroke lines and it doesn't give you an even flawless look. But for some reason with the airbrush formulation, I really like how it goes on. And what you're going to do is you just take, make sure you've shaken it up really well, and then you're just going to spray the foundation right on the bristles of the brush. And then I'm just going to pat it on to my skin. And you just want to make sure that you're patting it on with the brush. You're not actually dragging the brush onto the skin. You're just patting it into the pores and into the face. And I like the Boomy brushes because it's synthetic, so it doesn't absorb as much product as like a natural hairbrush would. And you just kind of pat it on. It feels really good because if you use this can, it comes out really cold and it feels like a wonderful massage treatment for your face. So you can see I have this half of the face with the foundation. It looks really light. It doesn't look really glossy or greasy or very heavy. It feels light. You don't even feel like you have makeup on your face, which is the absolute best part. And it covered up all my freckles, little imperfections, and it just looks, it looks like I don't even need to put a concealer on. Now I'm going to show you with the Dinair, and again, just make sure that you shake it up really well. I'll show you how it looks with the beauty blender, but no, it's just not my favorite way to put it on. So again, you could just put a few drops. Now you just want to stipple it onto the skin like you would with your regular foundation. But because the airbrush foundation is so liquidy and watery, and unlike anything else you'd be applying with the sponge, it really just gets absorbed back into the sponge, and it doesn't give you the concentrated flawless application that the brush does. So I just went back over with the brush to make sure it looked flawless and amazing. And do not forget to get your neck too. You always want to blend. It dries onto your skin. It's almost like if you spray painted something. Now from this point, if you want to do any extra concealing or highlighting or contouring, you can go ahead and do that. So I'll just show you with my beauty blender and my RCMA palette. You can go around the nostrils, but really the airbrush foundation really gives coverage that liquid and cream foundation just don't. So you can go under the eye. I always like to go and get the eyelid. And if you wanted to add a little bit of pop of contouring, you can go ahead and do that with a couple shades darker than what your skin tone actually is. You can go down the sides of the nose to slenderize the nose, or you can watch my whole video devoted to how to slenderize your nose. And then we're just going to apply our powder on top. You can use any powder. I just am really in love with this translucent crystal light reflecting setting powder from NARS. I'm just gonna go over the eyelids mainly, even though you don't really need to set this too much. So anywhere you want to put the powder, feel free. Otherwise, it's almost like the Airbrush foundation is already dry. You don't really need to set anything or put anything on top, but this just helps make your skin and pores look amazing, so I'm going to put it on. Now you can go ahead and put the rest of your makeup on, which I will do, and I will be right back. So ta-da! This is me back with all the rest of the makeup on my face, and I love the Airbrush foundation because it looks really light, it feels really light, it doesn't come off, it's just awesome, and it almost replicates the same as if you were using a real airbrush. Of course it's going to be slightly different, but I think I can achieve the same effect, and you guys can too, without having an airbrush, or if your airbrush is broken, or whatever the case may be. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to take the little pod cap off in the back, and then you're going to lift, there's a little black kind of air release nozzle that you're going to lift up. And then there's a little loop that you will see back here, and you can take a small makeup brush that you have, and you're going to lift that up. You can see it kind of lifts up, and then just push it over to the side so it'll continue to release the makeup. Now, as you can see, it will cause the makeup to come out onto the tip. So you can put this on a palette, on a paper plate, or if it's just on yourself, you can put it on your hand or on a sponge, and you can apply it directly that way too. So when you're done, you want to make sure that you release that clip and it goes back down, and that you also plug up the little air plug release, and then you put the cap back on, and then you can dry this off so it doesn't leak out also. But that's how you can get the foundation out of the Temp 2 AirPod. Give it a try, and I will put, I think the least expensive is the Dinair Airbrush foundations. I'll put a link for where you guys can get those below. I'll also try to find one for the Temp 2 if you have any of the Temp 2 pods, or if you also want to try the Dior Air Flash foundations. And I will even put a link for where you can find this RCMA palette, because this is a must-have. And don't forget, you guys can check out my second channel, Candyland. I'll put a link for that below. We are back from our day of filming. Did you have fun? The eyebrow video will be on its way. I don't know why I just keep forgetting to do that one, but that one will be soon, and also a video on how to become a makeup artist will be coming up soon too, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the awesome, that's all I gotta say. But huge hugs from my little bedroom to yours. I will see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day. Mwah! And if you're totally not sick of me, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.